Hello. Today with a little bit improved setup for streaming, hopefully better microphone, I would like to show you how to install Visual Studio Code and PlatformIO for development on Arduino and ESP32. So the very first step you need to do to take is obviously to find the page for the Visual Studio Code and just type Visual Studio Code download in Google, and the first page is this one or the second one. And then you go to download Mark Universal. I already did that, and you can, oops, I ran the wrong one, sorry. This is the second step. In your download folder, you just unzip this, and it creates this file. That's it with number 2 because I already have it here, and you just drag it to your applications folder. Then the next step is to check and see if it's work. Visual Studio Code, and there you go, you have it. Then the second step is to install the PlatformIO, but before that you have to make sure that you have Python version above 3.5. In order to do that, you can go directly to python.org and go to downloads and download the latest stable version for your operating system. In my case, this is 3.10.5. If you want to check if you have Python, you can type Python 3 -- version, and I have 3.9.7, so I'll try to install the latest version, and I need to agree with this and install. Probably I should not hide the password, but the camera. Maybe this is smart. There you go. So we're installing the latest version. I'm going to just turn off the Visual Studio Code, turn off the Arduino IDE, and now we can check again if it was installed by typing the same thing, and we have 3.9.7. I assume I have to restart. Sorry, terminal, I already have that. Well, anyways, I don't want to debug how to fix this problem, but by default, I mean, if you run this, you're gonna have, it's probably related to the environment, and there's a lot of configurations that can be wrong, but in general, it just, if you don't have it, you install it once and it works, and 3.9.7 in this case is gonna work. So the next step is to get the in VS Code, and then, okay, why it's not starting? Visual Studio Code, okay, close this one, and in the extensions we can press Shift Control X to open the search, and you can type PlatformIO, and this result is the correct one with this little alien guy here. You click install, and once you have it installed, you just have to wait for a moment, and it's gonna show an icon here or a home button house here. So one way is to click here to go to the main homepage of PlatformIO, and the other option is to go from here and then open. And this is it taking you to the same place. You have several tabs here. Home gives you the option to create and import projects. One moment again. Okay, so the project shows you the recent projects. I just made a few tests to see how things work. You can inspect project from here. You can install libraries. There's a lot of libraries that you can install for it. From here you can choose different boards. Currently there is 1,390 supported boards. Platforms and devices. Here it finds the device that I have and currently have plugged in, ESP32 cam. So the way we work with this is we create a new project. First we're going to test it with ESP32, and we create a new project and we're going to name it ESP32 live demo print test, because we're going to just print a value from the serial port, from the serial on the serial monitor. As a port, I know that mine is called AI Tinkerer ESP32 cam, and from here you can select the location. By default it's gonna save it in, I mean, I can just go and find a folder where I want to do it. So we can create a folder called live demos, and inside I can create ESP32 and then finish, and this is where we're going to save it. I need to say that you trust that, and then here is the project structure. Yeah, so in a project structure you have several folders, and in this one SRC, this is your main file. This is the main difference with there are a few differences between this one and the Arduino IDE. In the Arduino IDE, I think the extension is INO, and here is CPP because it's C++, and we always have to start with include Arduino H library in order to start writing code. One thing that I've noticed is that the cursor has this double shape, thick shape, and I cannot delete. I fixed this by pressing I, and then I can start typing. I think this is some style similar to Vim. So we can write a simple code like serial dot begin, and by default we can do 115,200. Then in the loop we can do serial dot print line. The nice thing here is you have like a pretty nice autocomplete, pretty much everything you can expect from, it gives you tips, what kind of parameters are expected in the function. So it's everything you can expect from a Visual Studio is here in Visual Studio Code. You can just type one double quote and it's gonna type two and it puts you in the middle. So here you can say hello ESP32 world, and then we need to slow it down because it's gonna be super fast, so we do delay of 1000 milliseconds. And then here's a little trick that is not that typical for that. It's not the same for Arduino. The first thing that you want to do is, if the board is selected correctly, and the port, we just need to click this one to build it. And building here, I've noticed, is quite faster than building in Arduino IDE. And if everything is okay, you can press this arrow, and it's going to send it to the controller. Well, if you want to see the serial monitor, you have to click here. But one thing that is a bug, and I had to dig a lot to find the correct answer, is you have to press Control T, and then Control D to deactivate DRT, and then Control T and Control R to activate RTS. Right now we're seeing this question mark looking things is because our baud rate is not the same as the one that is set by default. We set 11,200, but how do we set baud rate on the terminal? And this is done through PlatformIO INI, and I'm gonna try to remember by heart. I think it was speed, no, I need to Google that because I forgot the actual ESP, one moment. PlatformIO set baud rate, it's serial monitor. Yeah, the command is monitor speed. Monitor speed. We have to set 115,200. Then that, I think with Control C we stop it, and when we press enter, we go back to the terminal, and then we start again. And let's try to restart the whole ESP32. Okay, let's try to send the whole program. I mean, if you watched my previous videos, this is really doing it much faster. So we go for Control T, Control D, Control T, Control R, and now you can see, yeah, so we had to re-upload the sketch again, but you can see that this terminal is currently working correctly. Just for people who watched my previous video, I'm going to show you the sketch that we built yesterday on the ESP32, and you can see how it compiles and uploads on PlatformIO and VS Code. So this is yesterday's code. I'm going to just copy the whole thing, Control C, Control V, and I need to have this Arduino H at the top. And there's also one very interesting difference here between the VS Code and Arduino IDE, and the problem is in the Arduino IDE. So if we try to compile the same code from yesterday, let's do something, and then web page are not available, and they're here, here, and here. These are three functions, and they are used in the loop function. But if you scroll down, you see that their definitions are behind the loop function, and the right way to do it, and here VS Code is and PlatformIO is requiring it. You have to define your functions before you use them. So the easiest fix for this thing is to cut this and just dump it between the loop and setup. And one other thing that you would see is that when you have ifs and everything that stays between two curly brackets, we have this line which shows us where it starts and where it's ending. And this is a big difference from, let's say, let me show you how fast it uploads. Big difference from Arduino IDE, because there it's super difficult to figure out which bracket starts and which one is ending and where. So yes, right now we uploaded it, so we go Control T, Control D, Control T, Control D, Control T, Control R, and I will just restart it. Yeah, one more time. And this is for who didn't watch my videos, my previous videos. This is was a demo how to make a web server. So basically, I'm trying to connect this. I am connecting this ESP32 to my local network, and what we can do now with it, and I'll show you in the live cam. We can just go to the IP address, and it generates a page where I can just press the button, turn on the light, and then turn off the light from it. But the point of the demo was to show you how to upload, how to see the results in the terminal, the output in the serial monitor, and then to point out these two differences, that you have to start with Arduino H library included first. Then you have to define your functions before you use them, unlike in Arduino IDE. And also the main file is called main CPP. I mean, you can rename the file, but it should be CPP. So now, as a quick additional bonus, we will do a second project. We'll create another project. So we go here and click open, which I don't see, so I'm gonna just go from the house. Oh no, open is here, sorry. There you go. We create a new project, and we're gonna call it Arduino Live Demo. We search for Arduino Uno, and we're gonna save it in the same folder. We go to Peter, then developer, then live demos, and then we create Arduino folder. Sorry, what did I do? Developer, live demos, new folder, Arduino, and then finish, and we create that. Yes, we do trust this. Here we can set okay, so we have a new project here. Oops, I think I just closed it by mistake. Let me see if I can open it again in project, Arduino Live Demo, open. Yep, Arduino Live Demo is here. So we create, I go to source, and we can use the same code from here. Actually, I don't have the code. No, in the ESP32 I have it, but it's the long one, so I already delete the short one. So we're gonna have to write it again, but it's okay. So I press I to start typing, and then I write serial dot begin, and then we put 9600, and then here in the loop we have to write serial dot print line hello Arduino world, and then delay 1000. So we can set up the speed, but let's see if the default one is matching. So we try to compile. Compilation is fast, and then oops, this is not going to work because I didn't connect Arduino. I actually am trying to upload it to the ESP32 and it's not going to work, so I just disconnect it brutally and plug in my Arduino Uno, and I try to re-upload again, and hopefully this time it's going to work. And yes, so now we pressed this one, and this time without doing this Control D, we have hello Arduino world. So this is pretty much it. These are the little things that you might have problem with, and I hope this was useful. I personally haven't used a lot Visual Studio Code and PlatformIO, but I see tremendous advantages coming from Visual Studio, the full Microsoft IDE, with all these their things that help you at least make less mistakes. So this at least brings a lot more of these good things to developing for microcontrollers. So if you liked what you saw, check some of my other videos and like and subscribe. Thank you. Hope you learned something.